Let's take a quick look at Hole Up, a holy word game from the folks at Brainy Games. Welcome to Brains on Games. I'm Dr. Brian McDonald, and in this episode we're going to talk about Hole Up, which is another game that was given to me when I was at Breakout in a game convention in Toronto. I'm slowly making my way through all the review copies of games that I received, and this one's from Mark over at Brainy Games. Now, Brainy Games is an agency that creates these little educational puzzles and word games and spelling games. And this is a game where you're stacking up these tiles with holes in them in order to spell three-letter words. I say this is going to be a quick look at the game because it is like, this is a kind of an informal, sort of relaxing kind of a game, I would say, where you've just got this big stack of these tiles with holes cut in them, and you're earning points by spelling these three-letter words. You can play it alone or with others. Mark would say, ages 7 and up can figure this one out. They are only three-letter words that we're talking about, so it's nothing too complicated. It does help if you have a good vocabulary. You can play it sort of like maybe a domino style game, except that you get to stack your word cards. You can play it where the words are in a square as well, so you're stacking them up so that everything goes around the square like that. One important thing about Hole Up is that the letter here in the middle is what's going to dictate the orientation of the words. So because you can put things upside down and all around, you want to be looking at the orientation of the middle letter in order to determine what it is that you're spelling. Because if I put a word like this, the M is sideways, but this would still count as a word. Ma would be the word, and then somebody else can cover some other things up and make a new word with those letters that are on the board. Another interesting thing about these cards is that they're also double-sided. They have different letters on both sides, so you do have some flexibility there. So what you're going to do is you'll start with a few of these cards. You either play one or you draw a new one, and you're trying to get rid of all your little word cards here and earn the most points in the process. So like I said, you can play it like it's domino style, and you're kind of making like a crossword like this. So now I've got ma, I've got la over here on the other side. You can cover up some previously laid letters if you've got a card that will allow you to make a word out of that. And here's, I've got lad over here and mid over there. So there's lots of different ways that these things are going to stack up. I kind of like the square one because it keeps everything limited to this small little space. And you don't even have to keep score in a game like this. Of course, you're thinking about vocabulary here and spelling. If you know more three-letter words, it's going to be easier for you to figure out words that you can make with the cards that you have. Sometimes you will find yourself drawing more and more and more of these letter cards because you just can't find a word that's going to work with the letters that are on the table. But most of the time, within a couple of turns, you'll be able to play something, and it's just kind of a silly little relaxing spelling game. Thanks so much to Mark over at Brainy Games for sharing with me his project. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave them in the comment section below the video. I'll put a link to Brainy Games in the show notes below this video as well. You can also email me at brian@brainsongames.ca. Brainsongames.ca is the website. That's where future episodes will go, and the previous ones are already up there. Brains on Games is the X handle and the Facebook page and the Instagram feed, so we're all over the place. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to be notified of future ones, you can head on over to YouTube and click that subscribe button. Thanks for joining me, and hopefully I'll see you next time.